Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a delayed episode of Rants here with Holden, and this is like a Christmas, a little like holiday break. A couple episodes we're making a couple episodes tonight that will go out sometime in the near future. The first one we're doing right now is the top 10, five from him and 5 from me, games that we want switched to the Nintendo Switch. So games of old, games that we think that would work well with the system, and just games that like maybe a guilty pleasure thrown in there for like this game that we probably know is never gonna be on Nintendo Switch, but it'd be awesome if it was. So
in no particular order.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go straight into it. Reminder, another episode that we're gonna be making is our best of the year for games. So the games that we thought
a year of review
that we thought deserved more recognition for the year, and just show like how great of a year it was for games. And yeah, so we'll get into that also later too. So Holden, how about you start off with your first game in your top 5 of games that you want switched to the Nintendo Switch?
By far the most underrated 3DS title has got to be Kid Icarus Uprising, and that could definitely work on the Switch. There's the whole issue of, but you aim with the stylus. Well, we have an entire game called Splatoon where the motion control with aiming works very well. It's an online competitive game, so we know if we were to use the Splatoon aiming, as well as there's this thing called Palutena's Guidance in Smash Brothers. So all the lower screen talking sections that they always do throughout the level, that can just be put like somewhere like on the bottom of the screen. Just an overall very underrated title. Like, you remember playing through Kid Icarus Uprising, right? You thought it was...
I actually just realized this a couple of days ago, but the director for Uprising was who did Smash Bros.
Oh. His name is escaping me, but he's basically our Lord and Savior.
Miyamoto?
No, it was Sakurai. Sakurai, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Sakurai was the director of
that has to be why, because Kid Icarus Uprising also has like its fingertipped in Smash, like the X-Bomb in Smash. That was from Kid Icarus Uprising.
I remember when getting the game, it came like in a big package almost. It was like, I forget what it had in it, but it was almost like something like special, like a special like 3DS game. Like the cover was really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard of Kid Icarus before.
It was really hyped up, actually.
Kid Icarus is more of a, I feel like more like
it's one of those character. It's one of those hidden gems. Especially that game is a hidden gem in my eye because it's so fun to play. Mm-hmm. I just wish they'd port it to the Switch so maybe it could get, the recognition it deserves, as well as a much needed update, because, playing that on the 3DS didn't feel so great, and just having the ability to play it on the TV as well as handheld would probably be more of a selling point for people to actually go back and play it. It's super charming. The story's fun, the gameplay's great, all the cool different weapons.
I remember having a lot of fun with it, and the story was like a boost-based story.
Oh yeah, all the dialogue and jokes.
I love the on-rails section especially. That was like the part that I loved about the game most, was the on-rails part. And then...
Oh yeah, the flying section, that was a set path, but then it was like one half of the stage was flying around, but the other half was like on the boots on the ground.
And they had like this great customized, you could like customize your weapons, get like different parts, and change it up. I had a lot of fun with that. I mean, the game was received well. I'm looking on Metacritic right now. The game has a 83 on Metacritic, which is really good.
Yeah, super underappreciated.
Yeah. IGN, Richard George called Uprising a fantastic game despite its flaws. Eurogamer said Kid Icarus is a strong, pretty game, turned to an essential one of its surrounding infrastructure. And so, I mean, it's definitely there. I'm like trying to find the sales for it. I don't think it sold that well.
It
like,
did not.
What I mean, like, because like what you said about it just being, I definitely think it was underappreciated.
People will look at it and be like, "Oh, the controls are so weird. It can't be done." Then I just said, we have Splatoon with the motion controls as well as the gyroscope and the controller to play it on TV. Like it can be done. Like the technology is already there and existing.
Yeah, it only sold 316,000 copies. So
that is so sick because that game is so good.
Yeah,
it's a really fun game. Mm-hmm. The story
it's long too for like a 3DS game.
Oh yeah, it's like in 3 different chapters almost. Mm-hmm. Like all the all the levels are in chapters. It's like like a 30 chapter long game. Each chapter being roughly like 10 minutes to do. It's like its own little anime actually.
Right. Yeah. So. I feel like also like putting it on the Switch would help like revitalize it maybe. It'd be like, oh, and like what if they announced like a new Kid Icarus game too with that? It's listen, we're making this new Kid Icarus game for the Switch. It's gonna be awesome. And then they say, oh, by the way, we're also bringing back Kid Icarus Uprising because like that's what they did with like Luigi's Mansion. They brought it to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
And then no, they brought it to the 3DS, not the Switch, but like. Also with that, they're making Luigi's Mansion 3. So I feel like if they do the same thing, they're like, listen, we had this great game on the 3DS like no one played, just like with like most of like the Wii U games because no one had a Wii U.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U was shit. And so if they say, all right, we're making this new Kid Icarus game for the Switch, we're also going to bring back Uprising. It's a great game. We think you guys should try it out. We're going to sell it for like $30, even though they'll probably like fucking upcharge it like everything.
Oh yeah, they love to do everything at like a full price game.
And so, maybe. I remember when the original Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze came out, it was $50, but when they brought it to the Switch, they made it $60, so...
Yeah, but you get Funky Kong.
I got Funky Moon. Jesus Christ. I can't believe they did that. You know how, like, bullshit
that's so... That's like my same issue with Pokemon Let's Go. It's a $40 game, but they put it at a full price plus the controller. Yeah, Nintendo, like I always say this, Nintendo is a god at making games, but they are incompetent at literally everything else. Like, yeah, they suck at everything, but god damn can they make a good game. Actually, the more I think about it, Kid Icarus Uprising would probably work better on the Wii U because of the double screen and everything.
Yeah.
But, fuck the Wii U. That thing was a piece of garbage. Mm-hmm. You want to just pick randomly from your list, or you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Persona 5 right now because that's what I got on my list.
We're going favorites first.
Yeah, so Persona 5 developed by a Persona team and also developed and published by Atlas. It came out September 15th, 2016, and Japan also came to the U.S. on April 4th, 2017. For me, it has like the perfect blend of what a JRPG should be for the Switch. It's like 70 plus hours, great story. The graphics aren't too demanding because it worked on the PS3, so I feel like it would work well on the Switch also. I look back into Octopath Traveler and think about how great that worked on the Switch and how well that was received for it. And so if you have like a very long RPG like that on the Switch, you bring a well-established, people love Persona, the RPG community and JRPG community loves Persona, and I feel like if you bring that to the Nintendo Switch, it would make so much money. I would probably buy it again just for like the portability aspect of it, because when you're playing like a 70+ hour game where like you're just grinding battles, trying to get through dungeons, trying to get like the story, and like you don't have to sit somewhere for like hours on end and just like play that. Instead you can move around, pick little pieces up when you want to, put it in handheld mode, like have to really like invest time into it. I feel that's like what an RPG is. RPGs are like made for handhelds and like made for like those experiences.
They're made to be play over a long period of time.
And like the Switch is made for that. It's made for, I mean,
just sitting down like on a bus or on a plane and just putting like 2 or 3 hours at a time.
And you see that in Nintendo's game development style, because when they make games like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, you're like, okay, we're gonna make you collect all these moons. Then Breath of the Wild's like, okay, we have all these shrines, we have all these Korok seeds. We're gonna make this open world game like 50 plus
impossible
hours long.
to do in one sitting.
Super Mario Odyssey, we're like, okay, you can like sit down if you want for like 5 to 10 hours and like collect moons, but like if you're like in an Uber or like or something, you can like collect a few moons that are just like easy. And so Nintendo's like putting that into their game development like cycle with like the hardware that they're using, and I feel like Persona is a perfect fit for that. Again, like
it's got its foot in the door with Smash too.
And I was about to bring up is we're already seeing the first DLC character, if you don't count Piranha Plant, the first DLC character for Smash Bros. Being Joker from Persona 5, and I was like, I saw that and I was like,
that was completely left field.
Like, what the hell just happened?
You
because
never
I
saw
saw
it
that, I freaked out. I love Persona.
You'll never see it coming.
Yeah, I never saw.
I also want to throw out that's a 70-hour game if you're a speedrunner.
Yeah. I
would go far as to say that's an 80-plus hour game.
I played that all the summer and still haven't finished it yet, so.
I tried to shotgun my way through it like I do with most of my games. I couldn't do it.
No. That's an investment.
It was too long for me to undertake.
I think I'm like halfway through. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But so yeah, I would highly suggest it. I feel like this would be great for Nintendo. I feel like they would make a lot of money. I feel like it would help their partnership with Atlas grow even more after Smash Bros. And possibly let other JRPGs into the mix. Maybe they bring Persona 4 Golden, which is another great JRPG from them. Maybe bring all the Persona games in as a collection.
Persona 4 was on the Vita, right?
It was on the Vita.
Okay, so the Switch is...
It's a very old game. It's a Persona 4.
The Switch is
game.
Basically like a Vita on steroids.
Well, yeah, that's why I love it so much. It's good. I use it mostly as a handheld. So yeah, I just feel like it would go great. Again, I know it's kind of a niche crowd with it being a Japanese RPG, but JRPGs have been doing well this year with Dragon Quest XI selling really well for Square Enix. Yeah, Square.
Yep. Square's been on a roll.
Oh yeah.
So if you've been playing Smash religiously as we have, you'll notice that there's a Skyloft stage you can fight on, but you're basically floating around the entire map of Skyloft. So that got me thinking, it's like, well, there's the map. Why don't we get a Skyward Sword port? The gyroscope and rumble and all that good stuff in the Joy-Con is ridiculously, it's ridiculously accurate and tuned. So you could basically use the Joy-Con as... I think there are actual games on the Switch that use the Joy-Con as a Wiimote. So, the argument that you couldn't...
Use it in handheld?
Fair point, sir. But then again, is there games on the Switch that, aren't good in handheld but are good docked?
Well, for, 1-2 Switch, I think... You can't play that necessarily in handheld
on TV mode. Oh yeah.
You can play it in handheld mode, but you have to bring the Joy-Cons out.
Yeah, everything's done with the Joy-Cons.
So I guess the only way that you could play Skyward Sword theoretically is you have to put the Joy-Cons out, then put your
that would basically
tablet
it would be
somewhere.
Restricted to the docked mode then, because I didn't think about that actually.
And you gotta think about the Pro controller that they have.
Well, the Pro. That's what I said. The Joy-Con is basically a Pro controller, so you don't need the stupid. The Wiimote adapter, whatever it was, to play it.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. It's been fucking 10 plus years since the Wii, so I'd hope the Joy-Cons would be able to you don't have to have the
but
plus thing on top
out of all Zelda games, I think Skyward Sword would
Skyward Sword is I'm not saying this as an insult, but it's the most
linear,
rudimentary basic Zelda game.
Yeah, it's the most linear by far.
But it has all the parts of a Zelda game where you love.
Yeah.
So just going dungeon to dungeon.
Don't get me wrong, people hate Skyward Sword, but looking back, we already got Wind Waker and we already got Twilight Princess.
That's the thing though that I don't like about Zelda fans and Nintendo fans with that perspective, because when I remember because when Skyward Sword came out, everyone fucking hated it. But
yeah.
But now looking back on it, everyone loves it and they want a port of it. Then you look at Wind Waker. When Wind Waker
came out, people hated it.
People fucking hated it, and they called it a shell Zelda because it was cell shaded.
Yeah.
And so, but
then the complete
the Wii U remake came out and it was 10 out of 10. Oh my god, this game is amazing. Where were you guys
Meanwhile, the exact opposite thing happened to Twilight Princess. That game was praised on release, but over the years
it did not age well. You look at that Wii U port, and it's they may try to make it Ocarina of Time too.
There was a time where Twilight Princess was more favored over Wind Waker, but now it's the other way around.
Yeah, I love Wind Waker. Wind Waker's my favorite Zelda.
When you said how would it be played in handheld, have you ever played For Honor, that one weird sword fighting game with like the joystick?
I haven't played it, but I've seen gameplay of it.
You know, like how one joint stick is how you hold the sword, and the other one is the way you slash with it, or something along that lines. Mm-hmm. I think that could be done in Skyward Sword because the majority of the way to fight is just the angle of which you switch at.
Or you can just like hold two buttons, so like you can.
Unless
hold,
that's patented by.
You can hold Y and B, and you can do like a diagonal attack. I don't know. Maybe. But there's like boss fights in the game where like you have to do, and like puzzles where you have to do like a certain angle. And it worked fine in the Wii version.
But again, with, the Pro Controller, it's dude, Nintendo is almost like mastered gyroscope controls at this point.
They do have good motion controls.
Yeah. So, it's not far-fetched. Yeah. Most of the time. But on the Switch so far, like I said, Splatoon, the motion controls of that are super well integrated. Mm-hmm. I think it can be done.
I would like it. I would like, because I think if you look at the success of the Wind Waker collection and the Twilight Princess remaster, I feel like they need to bring another Zelda game to the Switch too, because Nintendo fans are the ones that'll keep on buying the same shit for a different console, even though it's the same game. But like, I would buy that again just because
I would play. I enjoyed Skyward Sword.
Just have that experience again.
Oh yeah, it was super fun to play through the first time.
And again, like the theme, like you brought up with like Kid Icarus Uprising, Nintendo could do the same theme where like at next E3 or the E3 before that, they'd be like, look, we're making another Breath of the Wild style engine game for the Switch. We're using like the same, like almost like Majora's Mask with like Ocarina. Like the turnaround between Ocarina and Majora's Mask was so fast because they used the same engine as Ocarina. Yeah. So I feel like they can say, listen, we're making a new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild style. It's awesome. In the meantime, we're bringing back Skyward Sword, like remaster for the Nintendo Switch. We think you guys will really like it. That'll be like a good appetizer for you guys to wait for like Breath of the Wild 2 or like whatever they call it.
I think they could make a Breath of the Wild 2 with literally the same map, and people would buy it.
I think if they...
Literally the same map, nothing different, just the story is updated or whatever.
Well, I think like they would need a new map, but
probably
a new map.
Give it the
use the same assets and then just like have like another story.
Basically, a Majora's Mask for Breath of the Wild.
I don't want to get into Breath of the Wild too much, but like the way that they put the story kind of a little bit more forward, I feel like if they double down on that, focus more on story a little bit, and like
that was my main gripe with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Was the story was kind of eh.
It was like their first attempt at it.
It was
really open world game. I think they did a pretty good job at it. So if you remember almost a month ago, the beginning of the December, we had the Game Awards 2018. A pretty good show, I thought. They had a lot of rumors floating before it. One of them was that the Metroid Prime trilogy was possibly going to be announced at the Game Awards for the Nintendo Switch. The reason why this rumor started was, this is an IGN article. It says, an online product listing has the internet buzzing about a potential Nintendo Switch port of Metroid Prime trilogy, with an announcement possibly coming as soon as the Game Awards this week. Rumors of potential HD port of the trilogy, as well as more Metroid-related announcement. We know that Metroid Prime 4 is announced, which is why a lot of people think that the trilogy might be coming out. Have been swirling for some time. Speculation is now heating up again just days before the show, thanks to Swedish retailer Innet's listing of Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch. While the listing has rekindled talks of a Switch version, it's important to note the retailer itself appears to be on the speculation. The Google translation of the product description reveals that the Switch version is only rumored, with Innet anticipating, not confirming, a Game Awards announcement and an early 2019 release. So people saw this on the marketplace from Swedish retailer, even though they thought it was just a get hype moment, they don't even think it's real. And so, but man, I don't understand why they couldn't playing that game. I know it already came out for the Wii, but I don't want to go back there, dig out my Wii, go through all that shit and like find a game just to play it. I feel like it would be perfect for the Switch and handheld mode. Those like because it's a Metroidvania. So I remember playing Hollow Knight.
It's a
first-person Metroidvania.
Prime, right?
Yeah, Metro Prime trilogy.
This is not a Metroidvania. It's more of like a first-person shooter.
First-person shooter.
Yeah, it's like a 3D first-person shooter, Metroidvania.
Okay.
Did you not play?
I knew like Metroid.
You played the first one, right?
Metroidvania.
You told me you played the first one, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of the first
I played my thing with the Prime trilogy.
I played the one on the 3DS.
I played. That is just a regular Metroid game. The Prime trilogy was like a first-person thing. That's what made it unique. But the thing about having a Metroidvania in like first-person, I played the third game. I got to like the third world, and then I got lost, and I put it down, and I never picked it up again. So that's my... it could be because I was too young to understand what was... maybe I was too stubborn to pull up a walkthrough. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like I don't really have that much to say about it because I never really played. And that's why I won it.
You won it because you want to play it.
I won it because I never played the Metroid Prime trilogy and I've heard like great things about it. And it's made by the same people that did Retro Studios. It's the same people that did that's the name of the studio. It's the people that did the Donkey Kong Returns and like the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which are amazing platformers. And I'm glad like Tropical Freeze came to the Switch. Those are some of the best platformers of this like last generation.
At full price.
Yeah, full
with funky mode.
Alright.
Thank you, Nintendo.
Which one do you want to do next? You got Wii Sports.
The next one, yeah, I'm going to talk about Wii Sports Resort. You know how 1, 2, 3 Switch came out?
1, 2, Switch, yeah.
And you know how bad that game is?
Yeah, it's not... Well, it's not necessarily a bad game. It was just like they overpriced it for like the stuff that they were necessarily giving to it. Because I remember like... They had like 20-minute games, but like they were charging $50 for it. It cost the Nintendo GG. But yeah.
You know how that one boxing, like the Wii Fit boxing came out for Switch?
Yeah.
So there right there is an example of a game on Switch that can only be done in handheld mode or TV mode. But, I was sitting through, I'm like, man, 1, 2 Switch is kind of bad. I really want a game like Wii Sports for, like, family to play. And maybe there's a huge lacking of, like, family games on the Switch.
We got Mario Party and, like, Mario Kart.
But there's not, like something Grandma and Grandpa can play, like Wii Sports.
Yeah.
And, Wii Sports Resort was basically just the superior version of Wii Sports.
And I think that's what they were going for with 1, 2 Switch, but, like, the longevity of that
it didn't sell. Like, they just need a good old sports simulator to play. So that's why I put Wii Sports, like, Resort on as, like, a port. Because, again, the Joy-Cons can work as a Switch remote. Or is it just the right one? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I think it might actually just be the right Joy-Con. But, that's just more of an excuse to go out and buy more Nintendo products. But, yeah, with the Switch's lacking of, like, a proper family sports game to play, that's why I put Wii Sports on my list, because also that game was kind of fun, right? Like, that's something you can go to your friends and just be like, hey, you want to go for a round of bowling, and just be like, yeah,
look
sure,
at this, I got this, let's like try it out. But I feel like
plus
Nintendo already passed that point because I feel like Nintendo already went past that point because like everyone knows about the Switch now.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they had even if they had 1, 2 Switch as like a pack-in title for like how like Wii Sports was like a pack-in title for Wii, I feel like if they had 1, 2 Switch as a pack-in title for the Switch, they would have sold many more copies and been a great way to like let people know like to buy it. Because like you can't really go to like your mom or like your like grandma and be like, look at my new Switch, look at me playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's gonna put so many people off because like
it's less family friendly.
It's less family friendly, and Zelda isn't a game where like you can just like pick up and play. It's like a game like you have to like invest.
Yeah, I remember when Skyward Sword came out. I went over to my grandparents, and my grandpa was super into playing Wii Sports, and so I was like, oh, check out this game, and he's like, oh, this game's just a one-player game. Put Wii Sports back in, and I'm like, oh, okay. But when I was also gonna say plus the I don't know if you remember playing the Wii Sports Resort, but the airplane thing where you just fly around the island in an airplane.
That's a stage in Smash Bros, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I loved the crap out of that. Just the ability to fly around in an airplane, just free roam. Super dope. Kind of reminded me of Skyward Sword, actually. Yeah, it's the same control as the bird in the plane.
And like the Wii Party game, I remember having a lot of fun with that. I remember coming over to your house sometimes.
Oh, Wii Party. I had completely forgotten. Wasn't that like a board game?
Yeah, it was like Mario Party, but just like a Mii version. It was like Mii Party.
Yeah.
The whole like Mii movement on the Wii was like kind of weird. It was like Mii Sports.
It really was.
Mii Party, stuff like that. Like they were fun.
And then
I think I got it. Like I think I got it for. It was a way for you to also get like a Wii Plus controller.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know about you, but I think Mario. Actually, that can be saved for the 2018 list, because in my opinion, I think Mario Party kind of like undersold and like things to do, and that's why I think of like Wii Sports, because there was a ton to do in that game. So I think we can move on.
Alright, I'll move on.
You have 3 things?
Yeah, I got 3 left.
I got 2.
Okay.
We are good.
I want to talk about Virtual Console. This is something that's been highly debated.
This is your child.
Yeah, this has been a highly debated and controversial thing for the Nintendo Switch. Even before it came out, a lot of people, when the Nintendo Switch was first revealed, a lot of people were wondering like why they didn't talk about Virtual Console. Virtual Console was a big thing on 3DS. It was also a big thing for the Wii. Play a lot of games. So Nintendo decided to fuck all their fans like they usually do, and do something that no one wanted, was make Nintendo Online for the Switch. And they said, listen, we're not going to give you Virtual Console, but we're going to give you something even worse.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is only give you NES games, and we're going to put it by an online wall. So you have to buy the online if you want to play these NES games. And we're not going to put SNES games. We're not going to put...
Yeah. That's the main thing with the games. That's the thing about the Virtual Console, is it wasn't restricted to NES games.
No, there's a lot of...
There was like Game Boy games too.
N64 games.
Yeah.
I think they stopped at N64 for like the highest.
I remember playing on my 3DS. I had Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy. I had that.
Paper Mario, like Super Mario RPG, and like on it, and so like I don't know, like.
I think the thing they want to do is they don't want to make a Virtual Console because they want people to buy their stupid.
They would make.
You know that SNES, the NES Classic. Yeah. I bought that and it's been sitting in a drawer, not doing anything since I got it last Christmas.
I just feel like they would make so much money with it, like the amount of like GameCube games they could put on it, and like SNES games and like NES games on it. We
should have made like a top GameCube games to go on Switch.
They.
I'm surprised none of our games on our list are from GameCube.
I just feel like it would work extremely well for it. There's a lot of games that people want for it. And I think you're right about them putting it like in the paywall for the SNES Classic and the NES Classic.
Yep.
I feel like that was a move that they wanted to make.
That was like a power move.
Yeah, power move. But I still feel like there's plenty of games on it that they could still make and that they could still put into it. So.
Oh yeah, there's only like 30 NES games on the Classic. Like... You know,
there's just like a shit ton of like old RPGs that like I want to play that was on the SNES and play on Switch. So, alright, that was just more of a grievance than an actual game.
I remember I brought you over when the Wii was still young. If you remember Bakugan Defenders of the Core, because there was Bakugan, which is basically like the card game simulator. But then they made another game, which was basically like a fighting game called Bakugan Defenders of the Core, which was super dope and super fun to play. It was like its own, like, you know, it was kind of like an arena fighting game with all like the new Vestroya Bakugan in it.
Is this one on the DS?
No.
I've never played a Bakugan game on the DS.
I think it might have been, but I've never played, because you might be thinking of like the card game simulator, but I think there was one that came on the DS. I think it was the 3DS even.
This is the one with like the little balls, right?
Yeah, that would be Bakugan.
The one I played was Bakugan Battle Brawlers.
Yeah, that was the card game simulator.
Yeah.
Bakugan Defenders of the Core was like an arena fighting game.
This one motherfucker looks like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
What? Yeah.
I'll make this a thumbnail.
Shun?
Yeah, the guy
Shun
right there.
Oh, that's not Shun. That's Masquerade.
Okay.
I remember because that was the girl.
I'll make that the thumbnail for this.
That was like the what? Masquerade was a girl the whole time, and she's in our friend group. But yeah, Bakugan Defenders of the Core, super fun to play, and if you know, it would go on the Switch. There's no
the gameplay a little bit, like how you would play it.
Well, like I said, it's an arena fighting game, so, you'd be playing as, like, Dragonoid, and you'd go around beating up all other, like, Trap Bakugan, who was, like, the new selling point at the time, was, like, the Bakugan that weren't spears, they were, like, trapezoids and whatever.
Characters look fucking, like, anime as hell.
Well, yeah, it was an anime.
I don't know, but they look like little versions of themselves.
But yeah, you basically play as, like, a big ass... You can curse, right? You've cussed, right?
Yes.
Okay, you play as like a big ass, like, when you throw the ball down, and it, like in the anime, there's the monster of it. So you'd go around as Dragonoid, like tall as a building, beating up other trap Bakugan with like there was melee, but then there was also like ranged attacks you could do. But you could also like recruit other Bakugan that was in Nuvastroya, like the Water Girl. I don't remember their names. But yeah, that was definitely like a guilty pleasure of mine that no one played that game. And, looking at it, it's super fun to watch, super fun to play. And, it'd work on handheld and TV easily. There was no motion controls. It was all button inputs. Super dope game that I kind of want to play again, but I don't have a Wii anymore.
Well, the final two. Also, I guess I should say this now since we're in the video. These are not in any particular order.
Oh yeah, this is another reminder because we already put up the disclaimer. But yes, this is not in any order. Like, I would argue that Icarus Uprising is like the top of my list, even though we said it first. But you usually save the best for last. This is actually kind of saving the worst for last because the next two, I can't even see happening. Mm-hmm. Here we go. This is a nice little segue before we give our last two. What's your desired Smash DLC?
My desire for Smash DLC would, Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I definitely have him on my list.
That's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
That's like bandwagoning almost.
Well, I hope it happens.
To be fair, yeah, they have Cloud, so why can't Sora be in?
Yeah. I want...
Your number one, though. Sora is not your number one. I know that.
Oh my gosh. Probably on the spot. I don't know. Let me think here for a little...
Well, you're thinking. My number one pick is going to be, like, the Monster Hunter. The hunter from Monster Hunter. Mm-hmm. All his alt outfits could just be like different armor sets, and Rathalos already got our foot in the door, so there could definitely be some cool stuff with that. All the different weapons, because how the Inkling has like the different weapons as like different attacks or whatever. Same thing can be done for the Monster Hunter. Get the melee weapon or well, technically he was already in Marvel vs. Capcom, so they could just, do the same thing they did with that. But yeah, like I'm thinking like his side B could just be, oh god, it's so hard to like choose between all the weapons. But yeah, definitely Monster Hunter is my number one pick to be in that. Like like I said, different colors could be all the armors. Rathalos already got the foot. Capcom has a super close relationship with Nintendo, right? Was Capcom the people who released Kid Icarus Uprising? No, because that was Shigeru. That was Shigeru, yeah. Never mind, I take that back. But yeah, Capcom's super close to Nintendo. They already have Rathalos in the game. By the way, while we're on the topic of Smash, remember when they said everyone was here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about the Rayquaza boss fight from Brawl? They didn't bring back Rayquaza as a boss. I call bullshit. Everyone is not here. 2 out of 10 shit game. Just the worst, just a fucking port of.
Alright, whenever I want to pick, even though it's never going to fucking happen, is because it's already been confirmed, is I want Shadow as an Echo Fighter for Sonic. But, that...
Poor guy got doomed to be an assist trophy.
That's some bullshit that he got.
That really was. I was so upset when I saw that.
Because he didn't deserve to.
Yeah, he didn't deserve to just be thrown in as an assist trophy. They could save him. They could just... People were saying, oh, Waluigi still has a chance, even though he's an assist trophy. They could save him by, making... Because, his assist trophy basically just slows down time, right? Mm-hmm. Just swap him out with Silver. Mm-hmm. Silver slows everyone down, and Shadow can be an Echo Fighter. It can be done.
Another one I thought of, even though it's been rumored, so it doesn't really count, but Banjo-Kazooie. I really want Banjo-Kazooie in the game.
Poor Banjo got the shaft.
He would be such a good fighter, and maybe he'll be in DLC. So
I hope. Honestly, I don't have any pre-existing expectations outside of Monster Hunter, because literally we could get a Metroid as a DLC fighter, and I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be like, all right.
Alright, my final 2 games. I'll just crank out my last 2. And then you can talk about your last one. Super Mario Galaxy Collection. And then also a possible 3, again, like what we said with Breath of the Wild, and maybe a Kid Icarus. They can be like, listen, we're making a new Super Mario Galaxy game, and we're also going to
You really want a Mario Galaxy 3?
Yes, I love Mario Galaxy. The music's so great.
I was just thinking they could make the Mario Galaxy collection and just have the 2 games.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like what they did with Bayonetta.
I feel like it would work well with the Switch. You could just stop the shaking of remote for it to be like a button input or something.
Well, they did that with Odyssey. There was the motion controls, but then in handheld mode you couldn't do the motion controls. So
I feel like they could do that. I feel like you want to do you want to shake
Listen,
Joy-Con.
Listen, Mario Galaxy is basically Mario Odyssey.
Uh-huh.
So, I believe it can be done.
Okay, I believe. A great game. Probably the best 2 games of the Wii, I think, for a first party standard.
Probably.
Super Mario Galaxy was kind of revolutionary for 3D platforming, putting a new spin on it, not making it 64 where you have so many objectives in the worlds, but kind of making each world its own level, instead of kind of being a sandbox, if that makes any sense. Kind of reminded me of a hybrid of Sunshine and just classic Mario.
Well, yeah, because there was the levels, but then there was different objectives in those same levels.
Yeah.
That was in Sunshine and in Galaxy.
I just feel like it would be great. Again, that'd be a great virtual console game to put on the Switch, but will it happen? Probably not. The last game I want to put on the list is Sonic Colors. You're talking about great Sonic games that could probably be on
this one you texted to me. Would you settle for this? And I'd be like, yeah, I'd settle for that.
Yeah, because
we know we're not going to get Sonic Unleashed, and we know we're not going to get Generations.
Sonic fanboys over here.
Yeah, dude.
But I feel like it would work. Just put it on the damn Switch. It could work fine. It could run fine. There's always been there's already hints of it possibly coming to PC, and so on Steam.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could work. Would it so well? Probably not. But it's just a game that I want because I'm a Sonic fan and I love it.
Yeah, like I said, I know we're not getting Generations, and we know we're not getting the Xbox version of Unleashed.
Yeah.
So I'd settle for Colors, but what I would settle for also would be the PlayStation 2 version of Unleashed or the Wii version of Unleashed, because they're basically the same game, but the Wii had crappy motion controls. So yeah, ditch that and just have the button presses from the second game, because what PlayStation 2 Sonic Unleashed does better than Xbox 360 is it didn't put the boost button and the homing attack on the same button. Mm-hmm. It was on a separate, don't get me wrong, Sonic Unleashed is my favorite Sonic game, but having to play through and having the homing attack and the boost button be on the same button,
it was just so
it's so... Why? The PS2 version had it on a separate button. And then, Sonic Generations came out and we said, hey, listen, we get you. And then they put it on a different button and everyone loves Sonic Generations.
Oh, it's like, yeah, maybe they could bring like the PS3 version or Xbox 360 version, and they could just like rework the controls. But I don't think they would put that.
They're not going to do the Xbox 360. They're not going to do that version. If they were, that's why I say the PlayStation 2 version was because it was smaller and more condensed, and probably easy to port.
Yeah, I don't even think they would put that much work into it, or like they would really work with it and change the controls and stuff. I don't even think they would. They would put that much work into it.
They would not.
So. All right. Well, thank you again for listening to our podcast, Grants Rants. For the video of top 10 games we would like switch.
Our dream list, our Christmas wish Switch list. I don't know. Yes. Happy holidays, everybody.
We're gonna make so stay tuned. Make sure because we're gonna be doing our top best games of the year for 2018. And yeah, have a good one, and we'll be out.
Merry Christmas.